Hey guys, I've got a new type of video for you guys. It's called the Tiermaker videos. And what I want to do here is I want to rank some of the things I'm more interested in from like worst to best and something like that with a tier list. I know a lot of channels have done this before, but that kind of inspired me to make my own. And what better way to start than we're gonna do the fast food slash fast casual restaurants tier. And this tier list was made by JeffDLowe at Twitter, or X as we know it nowadays, so him. And I'll also leave a link in the description if you want to make your own tier list on this. So we have, so the top tier is the best, or S tier, and then the lowest tier is the F, or the never had tier. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say this, I'm gonna go ahead and just do a lightning round with never had. So, out of all these restaurants, obviously there's gonna be some you've never had. So the ones I've never had are Baja Fresh, Blippy Sandwiches, Boston Market, Raising Cane's, Church's Chicken, Cookout, Del Taco, El Pollo Loco, even though that kind of sounds cool. In-N-Out Burger, Jack in the Box, Jollibee, Long John Silver's, PDQ, Penn Station, Qdoba, Quiznos, Roy Rogers, Shake Shack, Sheets, Skyline Chef, Swenson's, Taco Cabana, Church's Tacos, The Waffle House, Wawa, Whataburger, White Castle, Lynx, and Zaxby's. Those are all the ones that I have not eaten at yet. That's quite a lot. In fact, that's kind of like half these, but we still got all these stuff to do. So we're going to start off with the first one on the list is the A&W restaurant. So I'm going to be honest here, I've never had A&W in a long time. I know there's one in East Peoria, but I haven't been to the Peoria area in a while. I might do that someday. As far as I remember, A&W was good food. It wasn't great food, but it was good to surpass. So I'm going to put A&W on the C tier here. Alright. So, next up on the list, we have Arby's. Now, you probably know Arby's because they have the roast beef sandwiches, and I think they're pretty good. The roast beef sandwich is pretty good. The curly fries are the bomb. And I always order with a lot of Arby's sauce. There's just one problem. Why do they have a crinkle cut fry option? Yeah, so I personally think Arby's is great. I think it's a little too common to be in the best tier, but I'm gonna go on a limb and I'm gonna put Arby's in B tier because it's pretty great and I like it. The same thing can be said for our next restaurant, Bojangles. Now, one recently opened here in Normal. In fact, it's the third location ever to open in Illinois for this chain. And, yeah, so, I'm only gonna put this in C tier because, I can only have them once in a while. But once in a while, they're pretty good. It's just that I have, like, stomach problems when I eat too much fried chicken at one time, so, but yeah. I do like Bojangles, and I would recommend it, but it's C tier because I can't have it all the time. Alright. Next up, we got a controversial pick, Burger King. And I feel like Burger King doesn't get as much love as it should nowadays, especially since they've been better with the food and stuff. Yeah, I really like Burger King. I know Burger King went viral the past few times with the commercials being memed a lot, as well as the Spider-Verse Whopper, which I had the Spider-Verse Whopper, and I'm going to say this right now. I've had the Spider-Verse Whopper before it went viral. Like, the first few days of its existence, I've had it. And I was kind of disappointed. But, again, it's just for showcase. With Burger King, I'm going to put this in B tier as well. it does. The burgers can sometimes taste a little burnt to me, which is why I'm not putting it at the best tier. But I'm gonna put Burger King in B tier. Oh, and by the way, guys, before I continue on, there will be your tier list will be different than mine. It's just how these restaurants work and stuff. So yeah. All right, let's move on. Carl's Jr. You could also put a Hardee's in this area. I've had it like once, and I didn't like it. I've had it once, and I didn't like it. In fact, I'm gonna go put this in the F tier because I don't like their food. I've had their iconic menu item, the Big Star, like once, and it honestly just tasted like every other restaurant. There's nothing special about it, in my opinion. So, yeah. So sorry to all of you Hardee's lovers out there, but I'm putting Hardee's / Carl's Jr. in F tier. Checkers, on the other hand, now I don't go to Checkers too often because the nearest Checkers is like 20 minutes away from me off of Highway I-55. But I do like Checkers a lot. Their fries are pretty good. Yeah, their burgers are nothing to write home about, but I do love their fries. Now, I'm going to put Checkers in B tier as well. I don't go there often enough to be considered an S tier, but it's up there with Arby's and Burger King. Chick-fil-A. Oh my goodness. Chick-fil-A, I believe, is going to be our first S tier because there is, like, Chick-fil-A, they have amazing food. Their waffle fries are really good. I love their chicken sandwiches without the pickles, of course. So yeah, Chick-fil-A is like one of those things where I go like every month. Like they have really good food. Yeah, Chick-fil-A is going to be S tier. All right, next up we have Chipotle or Chipotle or Chipotle, whichever one you like to call it. Chipotle, I'm also gonna put a B tier. I go there. I feel like I go to Chipotle too often just because it's a favorite. They have really good food, but they're not that good. But yeah, I do like Chipotle quite a bit here. So yeah, Chipotle in B tier. Okay, next up we got Culver's. Now, for those of you who do not currently live in the Midwest, Culver's is huge here. And I'll tell you something, their cheese curds are really good. I can also say their grilled cheese is really good too. The burgers are not for the right home about for me, but yeah, I always get the grilled cheese kits meal there. But yeah, I always get the grilled cheese kits meal there because it's pretty good food. So Culver's, I think I'm gonna put this in S tier as well because they're like with the options you do get, and it is a limiting menu, but the options you do get, they're really good. And I think this is one of those things to where Culver's would let people would put Culver's in S tier because yeah, it's really good food. Alright, so this technically is not a fast food restaurant, but it is included here anyway, so we're going to go ahead and do it. They don't have a drive-thru or anything, but it's fine. So next up we got Denny's, and with Denny's, so yeah, Denny's is a pretty good restaurant. As long, like, if you do their breakfast option, they have a lot of good pancake breakfast options. So yeah. And, so yeah. And with their, oh jeez. Yeah, their, burger options, they can get pretty filling. And I do think you get a lot of bang with your buck for this one. So I'm actually also going to put Denny's in S tier, I believe. I really like Denny's. Domino's, on the other hand, aside from their garlic crust, it's okay. It's pretty okay. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to put this in D tier. It's pretty okay. There's nothing to write home about for Domino's Pizza. It's pretty okay. Okay, next up we have Dairy Queen. Now, if I was just ranking the ice cream, This would be the S. This would be an easy S tier. I love their DQ sandwich. The dilly bar is amazing, and yeah, they also are famous for, of course, their soft serve ice cream cone with a Q on top, a little curl Q. Yeah. Problem is, their grill menu items, there's nothing to write home about. I mean, like, yeah, their hot dogs are pretty good, but then you got like their burgers, which taste just like a burger. Like they don't have any flair to them. But yeah. So yeah, for that I'm gonna put Dairy Queen in B tier. They can be good, but it's generally yeah. You probably would just go there for the ice cream and that's it. They do have good food, but nothing to write home about. I'm putting this in B tier solely because of the ice cream. I'm sorry if that's cheating, but that's what I'm doing. Okay. So I'm gonna be honest, I only had Firehouse like once, and I don't think it's really nothing to write home about, so I'm gonna put this in D tier. Easy. Okay. Five Guys. Oh my gosh, do I have beef with Five Guys. Their food is good. Their prices are not. Like, okay. So here's the funny thing. I always do like this thing with Five Guys where it's like, okay, so you can get like this. You can get like you can get a burger, a fry, and a drink, decent size, for $20. Whereas, like other places, like McDonald's and Taco Bell, we'll get to later, you can get a good amount of stuff for cheaper. Like, why would you go to Five Guys when you can go to something equally as good, like Culver's or Chick-fil-A or Arby's? I don't really see them. I don't see the reason why Five Guys exists anymore. They're just so freaking expensive. But their food is good, so I'm gonna have to put this in C tier. Yeah, I really have to be with Five Guys, honestly. So yeah. Ugh, okay. So IHOP, as far as I remember, I only had it recently, and I can't tell you the taste of it, honestly. I can't tell you if I like it or not. So in the meantime, I'm gonna put IHOP on D tier. Not quite F tier since it's not bad. It's just not. It's just nothing to write home about. Just like with these two, they're nothing to write home about for me. But of course, you might have different opinions. Like you might like Domino's better, and you could put in S tier or something like that. But yeah, that's nothing for me. Okay, Jersey Mike's. Now, I've only had Jersey Mike's like a couple times because they only recently moved. They only recently have locations only recently here where I live in Bloomington Normal. But I honestly want to go there again. And it's been a while. Their food's pretty good, not S tier good, but also not C tier bad. So yeah, you gotta have like a distinct flavor when you're making these subs because there's a couple more sub places that are on this list, but yeah, Jersey Mike's is gonna be in B tier because it's a pretty good place. With pretty good subs, but not nearly as good as Jimmy John's subs. And Jimmy John's is very convenient. Jimmy John's is very convenient. If you want to sub quick as possible, Jimmy John's is going to be your best bet. I love Jimmy John's, and it's really good. In fact, Jimmy John's is going to be another S tier on the best ranking scale. Because I love it. Okay. Alright, here's an interesting one. Kentucky Fried Chicken, or as we know it today as KFC. So, with Colonel, I've had it a few times, and I didn't like it the first time. When I tried the nuggets, the new nuggets that came out recently, uh, it's honestly pretty spicy chicken for a regular chicken, but yeah. It's okay at best, but at worst, it's like Hardee's. Honestly. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to put KFC in F tier. It is a place I would go to every once in a while, but probably not as often as these other ones. But yeah. So yeah, Carlos Jr. How did you finally get a friend? Okay. Little Caesars. Little Caesars. I am going to put this in B tier because I feel like I've had Little Caesars way, way too often for how good it is. It is pretty good pizza, but I've had it way too often because the nearest Little Caesars, I am not gonna joke, it's like 2 minutes away. 2 minutes away! Whereas the nearest McDonald's, which is coming up next, that's 5 minutes away. Yeah, you can tell I've eaten this place too many times, but you do a pretty good pizza, so I'm gonna put this in B tier. If it weren't for the fact that I eat as often as I did, I would put this in S tier. But yeah, all right. We are now at the restaurant where everyone is familiar with McDonald's. And with McDonald's is kind of the same thing as I just ranted about Little Caesars. It is pretty good food, but I do go to it way too often. It's just very convenient and it's very cheap. The convenient and cheap. That's what combines these two. These two are partners in crime. They're the cheap partners in crime. They're gonna go together in that B tier ranking. They're like cheap partners in crime, basically. Okay, next up we have Moe's. And with Moe's, I am gonna go ahead and give it another spot in our S tier ranking. Yeah, it's a little bit salty, but for what it is, you get a pretty good value. You get like your food, you get extra chips with it. It's just really good altogether too. And my nearest location also has the Coca-Cola Freestyles, which is always really fun to combine like which flavors and try new like soda flavors on those Freestyle cans. And I really like that feature. And Moe's is another S tier on the ranking scale. So we have 5 on the S tier. We're doing pretty good. Okay, Noodles and Company. Now, this one is one of the ones that's going to be pretty limiting to me because um, I I'm not a pasta guy. I'm going to be honest here. I do not like the tomato sauce. I just like regular noodles. However, the one redeeming factor for noodles is their mac and cheese. It's actually pretty good because it combines mac and cheese with some shredded cheese, and you could have noodles mac with noodle cheese. That mac with noodle cheese that doesn't make any sense, but yeah, with noodles I'm gonna put that into C tier just because of how limiting it is for me, but it is pretty good food anyway. So yeah. All right, so Panda Express is again another situation. They do have good food and art, and it's actually proved to be healthy for you. Actually, go to a Panda Express. But again, it's very limiting. I only ever get the orange chicken and the teriyaki chicken at Panda Express. It's pretty good. But yeah, again, this is much like the same thing as noodles. However, I am gonna put this in B tier just because I think I just personally prefer Panda Express over noodles. But yeah. Yeah, and don't forget, you could always get those fortune cookies too, and see what your fortune is. So, Panera, I've only ever had one thing. I always get one thing, and that is the grilled cheese, and it's pretty dang good. So yeah, again, I'm kind of limiting my things with some of these uh restaurants because I have like a signature thing I always get every restaurant, like McDonald's. I always get like the quarter pounder. Burger King, I always get the Whopper. Arby's, I get the roast beef and cheddar, and my standard Chick-fil-A. But yeah, so with Panera, I'm gonna go ahead and put this. Oh, I actually don't know if I want to put this in S tier or B tier, honestly. Uh, Screw it. We're gonna put it in B. We're gonna put it in S tier. I love it. Okay. So Papa John's. So Papa John's to me is one of those restaurants where you like it at first, but then the flavor gets old after a while. Like, I love the Papa John's pizza at first. By the way, why is it Monocle's on this list? Why is it Monocle's on this list? Because that's like another iconic pizza chain to me. Oh, wow. I'll continue anyway. So Papa John's, to me is like, it kind of gets old after a while. So I'm gonna go ahead and put Papa John's in C tier. It is pretty good food again, but it honestly got old to me after a while, and it's kind of a place where I'd avoid nowadays. But I would still go to Papa John's every now and then. All right, now we reached the saddest pizza chain, the pizza chain with the saddest story, in my opinion, Pizza Hut. So yeah, if you don't remember, back in the day, like when I was growing up, there used to be a Pizza Hut in uh Petersburg, to where there was like a sit down Pizza Hut. Unfortunately, that closed about like 5 years ago, and ever since then yeah, it's kind of like it kind of closed during the last year we ever did the camping at Petersburg in New Salem. So yeah. However, with Pizza Hut, um, it it's pretty good. Unfortunately, nowadays it kind of gets overshadowed by these other pizza chains because their most iconic menu item is the stuffed crust, and I honestly think like Little Caesars and Papa John's does it better. So I'm gonna have to bump you down to D tier since there's really nothing going for you, man. There's really nothing. All right. Next up is Popeyes. So, history lesson for you guys. When I was growing up, I used to have Popeyes a lot. And I mean a lot. But then one day, one fateful day, we dined at a Popeyes, and I got food poisoning. My stomach felt like it was gonna throw up. Yeah, I think you know where I'm putting Popeyes. I'm putting this at F tier. That fateful day just kind of ruined the whole restaurant for me, and I'm never going to it again. So yeah, had it. Yeah, that phase is over for me with Popeyes. So sorry, Popeyes lovers, but I can't say the same for myself. All right, next up we have Illinois' favorite. Well, actually, not Illinois, Chicago's favorite restaurant chain, Portillo's Hot Dogs. And if you've never had Portillo's, let me tell you, Portillo's is one of the best restaurants out there. In fact, I'm gonna put the Portillo's in S tier once again. I they're banger food. They're really banger food at Portillo's. The only negative about Portillo's, and it doesn't bump it off or anything, but the only negative is that it is pretty fattening. But it's one of those good once in a while stores, honestly. So yeah, not a place I recommend going to every week, but when you do, you're gonna have a good time at Portillo's. And always get that hot dog or the Italian beef if you're really adventurous. It's not my favorite, but if you're really adventurous, go for it. Alright, Potbelly Sandwich Shop. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't had Potbelly in a long time. Like, maybe like, last time I've been there was like 2 years ago. So, I can't really remember much about Potbelly, but, yeah, what I can remember, I feel it, I honestly think they're the better, Firehouse. They feel like they're the better Firehouse, but, yeah. I should really dine there again. So for now, I'm gonna put this in C tier. But I need to dine there again in order to really get a good uh thing of what to expect at Potbelly's. But yeah. Okay, now we have a childhood favorite of mine. The restaurant that I can never get into anymore because they've been closed and normal for a long time, and the closest one is in the Chicago area, and that is the dying pizza chain Sbarro. And with Sbarro, I'm gonna put this in C tier because just like A&W, I have not had Sbarro in a long time, but what I can remember, they're pretty good food. I just can't put these up here because I need to try them again in order to be qualified to do B or S tier. I might post an update video when I try these two restaurants again to see my thoughts and feelings on these two. But yeah, for now, Sbarro is going at C tier, and the same can be said for the now gone chain, at least here in Illinois, Schlotzsky's. It's another childhood favorite of mine, but again, I haven't had it in a long time, so I I want to know what to expect from Schlotzsky's. So yeah. Okay. We're down to the final 7. Sonic is... I haven't had Sonic in a long time, but from what I can remember, the only really good thing about Popeyes is their tater tots. That's it. There's really nothing to write home about for Sonic. So, yeah. I'm not going to say they're bad, I'm just going to put them in D tier, because it's Sonic. It's Sonic! It's Sonic! Alright. Alright. Steak and Shake. Now, I just had Steak and Shake recently for the first time in like 2 years. And oh my goodness. They've improved a bit, but in my opinion, there's nothing to write home about for this place either. I'm not going to put an F tier because I don't think it's bad. There's just better chains out there than Steak and Shake. And that's probably the same for some of these closing ones, because they're just better options out there if you want stuff. Or if you just want to take... But I guess if you just want to taste something that's, like, gone. I think actually Slotsky's might actually be gone entirely at the point of when I'm doing this video, but... I know Sbarro and A&W are still alive, but... I don't think Schlotzsky's is still alive. I gotta look at the state of Schlotzsky's when I edit this video. Well, when I upload it. I'll post an update for you guys if it turns out Schlotzsky's gone, but for now, that's how it's gonna be. Alright. We have reached the most overrated sub shop, in my personal opinion. These pop up way too many times for my own liking. Subway. They're not even that good. They're just like a generic sub shop. Like, it's just there just to, like, be convenient. That's all. I don't really like Subway that much, especially compared to Jimmy John's and even in Panera and even Jersey Mike's. I have to put Subway in F tier. I am so sorry. They're just too much out there. Too much. And I don't even like the food there that much. Alright. So next up is Taco Bell. And with Taco Bell, again, much like McDonald's, much like Little Caesars, I've had it a bit too much, but yeah. I'm just gonna say this right now. Their cheese is too spicy for me. Their cheese is too spicy, and the only reason why I get the chicken quesadilla is so that the chicken can calm down the spiciness of their cheese. Their cheese is just too spicy, in my opinion. So I'm gonna put Taco Bell in C tier. Just because it's C tier. Alright. Wendy's. I have a bit of a history for you. So, during the pandemic, of course, when restaurants were thriving because of online delivery, Wendy's is one of our go-to places. However, they have gotten my order wrong again and again and again and again and again, to the point where I couldn't even trust them anymore for 2 years until recently during the first year of college when I tried them again just because they were convenient enough to be in that spot. And when they get your food right, they're pretty good. But when they get their food wrong, it's not. It's this dilemma. So, because of how much I've had their food wrong there at Wendy's, I'm gonna have to put this D tier. No F tier. It's good food, but I just can't trust them as much as like these other ones. All right, Wiener Schnitzel. Now, I believe I've had this like once in like Champagne. It's pretty good. Either that or I'm not thinking correctly, but I believe I had Wiener Schnitzel like once. It's pretty good. Just nothing to write home about, but it's pretty good. So I'm gonna put this next to Wendy's on D tier. Or actually, yeah, I'll put this in C tier. I changed my mind. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our final chain of the video, the Wing Shop Wingstop. And with Wingstop, I love Wingstop. I know some people don't, but I personally love them. I just can't get it too often just because of how expensive they are. But when I do, I'm always in for a treat. So Wingstop, for the final restaurant and for being very good, you get an honorary spot in our S tier ranking. Nice job. So, yeah, so that is my overall tier list of all these restaurants. Chick-fil-A, Culver's, Denny's, Jimmy John's, Moe's, Panera, Portillo's, and Wingstop are all in S tier. Arby's, Burger King, Checkers, Chipotle, Dairy Queen, Jersey Mike's, Little Caesars, McDonald's, and Panda Express are in B tier. A&W, Bojangles, Five Guys, Noodles, Papa John's, Potbelly, Sbarro, Schlotzsky's, Taco Bell, and Wiener Schnitzel are all in C tier. Domino's, Firehouse, IHOP, Pizza Hut, Sonic, Steak and Shake, and Wendy's are in D tier. And finally, Hardee's, KFC, Popeyes, and Subway, the bombs, are in F tier. Let me know what you think of these restaurants and what you would rank them. And tell me if any of these restaurants on my never had list are things I should check out. Like, for example, I know Jack in the Box is in Illinois. I know Raising Cane's is in Illinois. I know Boston Market's in Illinois. So I would like to try these out too. Except maybe for White Castle. I don't want to try. So let me know if I should try any of these items. If I should go out of town and try them. But for now, that's it for this video. If you guys like this video, I'll make sure to do more tier lists. I might do a Sanrio related tier list or like whatever I feel like next time. But for now, stay tuned. And special thanks to JeffDLowe for making this tier list.